Hello, YouTube. Today I'm here doing a bit of a follow-up video. Let's just put it like that. A follow-up video to the White Forest video I did a few days ago. I believe it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I have changed the list. If you saw the last video, I have changed the list a little bit. After playing like a bit more of it, and I'm like in this video I'll be going to go over to like the deck list, as well as doing some quick test hands on the solo mode, just so you can get the grasp of the deck a little bit, because this deck can be very hard to pilot, but it's definitely very good. I said it's to me the strongest combo deck in the game. I'm not counting Snake Eye Fiendsmith as a combo deck. That's more of a mid-range E deck for me than probably a combo deck. So it's more towards combo than mid-range, but it's still a mid-range deck to me. That's up to people to decide, of course. But yeah, this is my current list. I am playing 40 cards. So yeah, I decided I will proceed now to explain how did I reach these ratios and all, and why are some cards here even. So, starting with the basics, the hand traps, let's get it out of the way, the non-engine, tags, whatever. One Diddy Crow, because I think it's a very good card this format. I don't think you should sleep on it. If you have the deck space for it, just go for it. There's a lot of cards that you could hit with this. Some decks that are not bestiable, like Snake Eyes, for example, you can hit them with this, and it's probably kinda like it just stops their combo. If you like DD Crow, a fucking Flamberge, they just probably cannot play for the rest of the game, because having a Flamberge ban is just really bad for that deck. Yeah, just one example of an interaction you could do that Bestials cannot do. Double effect Veiler, this is very important in this deck. I would even do this if I could even do this. You could do this. I just like Veiler more. I don't know why. I think Veiler is way more flexible than DD Crow, but it's very important to run at least one Veiler, because in a scenario where you open some more pieces, you can just search Veiler with Richilla, because she searches any light spell caster, not only the White Forest cards. So yeah, Effect Veiler is very good. Effect Veiler is a really nice card to search for this. It's just like an extra interaction that, sure, your opponent will know you have it, but it's still an interaction that they have to deal with somehow. Drool, because it's very good this format. There's with like a bunch of Sky Striker going around, it's even better. Not like that deck is very strong, but there's a lot of it in rank currently because of the solo mode, right? So yeah, it's very good against Sky Striker. It's very good against, honestly, most decks in the current format. It's good against Snake Eyes, because if they use Ash to add Poplar, they cannot add the whatever they want to add with Poplar. Yeah, it's just a overall very strong hand trap this format. Honestly, every single format this card is at least usable to some degree. Maxi, because Konami didn't ban it yet. Please ban this card. Please. Now Ash to, stop Maxi. It's good against Snake Eyes. It's good against, a lot of decks. Yubel, it's decent against Yubel. Whatever. Now for the other tech cards, Called by Crossout to stop hand traps, and Imperm to, further interact with our opponent. This card also has I didn't see a lot of people talking about this, with Imperm specifically, that it can be used as a board breaker. Like, if you're seeing like that you Imperming them won't affect their line very much, you can just wait until your turn, and then like on the beginning of your turn you use this to you either completely turn off one of their monsters for the turn, or you would just force one of their interactions for free. You don't need to use this to stop your opponent if it's not going to stop them from comboing anyways, So yeah, now with the tech cards out of the way, let's go for the main deck. Starting with the Finsmith stuff, because it's the basic stuff. Finsmith, of course, 1 Lorry, into Engraver, into Tract. I am running to Tract specifically for personal preference, to be honest, because it feels so bad to open Tract and Engraver if you only have 1 Tract. It feels so terrible to do so. So yeah, I opted to run the double Tract and double Engraver for that reason. Because it just feels terrible to run open Tract and Engraver, and this happened to me multiple times. Probably just me being unlucky, but whatever. You can run, it's probably more optimal if you run just 1 Tract, but I would rather run 2 because it feels terrible if you open like both of them. It's just not worth the pain. So yeah, that's it. That's why I play. Now, for the rest of the Finsmith stuff, Lacrima, of course, the fusion. What else? Requiem to get into Engraver from the deck. And, well, Sequence to fuse. I'm not running Desiree here because simply there's no extra deck space for him, and my endboard is already strong enough, and if I want to end on a monster from the Finsmith stuff, I would very much rather end on Caesar than on Desiree, because Desiree it's like an Imperm but for 2 cards, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like doing monster early in your combo. If you are doing a monster early in your combo, you would probably rather for it to be Caesar, because Caesar hits Nibiru, than like Desiree, which only really is usable against like Imperm, and out of like Imperm it's only good on your opponent's turn. And like if you set up your board, you're probably winning anyways, so it doesn't really make much sense to use Desiree. And I didn't even find myself summoning it very much, so yeah. So now for the cards that matter. I will talk about White Forest and AZAMINA together because I think they fit. So hello Lagano, I am currently doing a deck list profile about White Forest AZAMINA. I love this deck. Yeah. So yeah, let's continue. So starting with the Stellar cards, the White Forest card, I mean. Say hi to YouTube, by the way. White Forest card. Stellar, I believe you all that were watching this already know what this deck does, so I will very roughly explain their effects. So Stellar, she basically sends a spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard in order to summon any light spellcaster tuner, which will mostly be Sylvie. She summoned it from deck, so yeah. And then like when if a spell or trap is sent to activate a monster effect from your hand or field, she can just summon herself from the graveyard for free. Because she's just like this. She's cool. She's my daughter. Hello. Say hello to my daughter. Now, LZ. LZ is your other starter that you want to open. Of course, I'm playing one of Stellar only because I have come up to this and I saw Joshua Schmidt talking about it. Is that like Stellar is very vulnerable to like all kinds of interruption you can imagine. Imperm hits her, Veiler hits her, Ash hits her, like a lot of stuff just randomly. Even like Ghost Ogre is good against her. So yeah, you don't really. I mean, you do want to open her like on a perfect game. You play on like a perfect game. You play 3 of this because she's your best card by far. But at the same time, you don't. Play 3 of her because if she gets hand trapped and she's like the only thing you're relying on, you pretty much cannot play the game. So yeah, it's fucking terrible. But yeah, now LZ. She's your other starter. That is, I mean, she's in some cases worse than the Stellar because she's not 2 bodies on your board by herself. But she's way better because she cannot be impermed or veilered. So yeah, she goes from your hand, she discards a spell trap, and then she adds a white forest monster, this specifically a white forest monster from your deck to your hand. And then during your opponent's turn, if a light spellcaster turn a special summon to your field, mostly through the effect of either woes or Diabel, we will get to that later, or even like your girls that can special summon themselves. She just gets herself back to your hand. Just like that, because she's cool. So yeah, she specials herself and then gets a guy, a girl, honestly, soul girl. So yeah, now AZAMINA of the White Forest, which you want to play one of. You could play two of this card just because if it gets bestial, there's really not many ways that you can, you know. There's not really many ways you can recover her, and if you don't feel very good about losing her. But so far, I have not ever been in that situation. So yeah, I don't think it's that much of a problem, at least by now. So yeah, she's very good. She summons herself from hand. She reveals her in your hand and summons a White Forest or AZAMINA monster from your hand, which will mostly be her because she can do that. And then like she has two different-ish effects that you use in different scenarios, but you mostly use the second one. So yeah, if she's on your field, you can just fuse an AZAMINA monster using any monster from your hand or field. Of course, you can use anyone's, but the only AZAMINA you have in the main deck is her. And so yeah, you just use her plus another monster, like... But that's not really used. What the effect you really want to use is the second one that says that if she's sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you can add a Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. This is really good because it gets you to your AZAMINA stuff. You can, this is like the bridge that gets you from your White Forest cards to your AZAMINA cards. And the AZAMINA cards are of course like they're level 6 and plus 4 goes into Baron. Illa Sylvia is an Omni-Negate. They recycle themselves very easily and all. So yeah. You really want to send her for a synchro summon, mostly Diabel, because you'll be searching her off of LZ. We'll see that in the combo. I will do a replay section. So yeah, next up, Sylvie. She can be a starter, she can be combo by herself, but you're not really happy to do it. So yeah, if she's special, you can add a White Forest spell trap from your deck to your hand, and if she's in your graveyard, you can target a White Forest synchro in your graveyard or that you control, return it to the extra deck, and then special her. This is useful in more than one way. If your synchro were to be getting bestialed, you can just return it. If it were going to be impermed, you can just yoink it from the field. No, not you. Just yoink it from the field. So yeah, it's also a quick effect, so it happens in your opponent's turn. It's decent. So if you have like woes, for example, and you finish in no materials, you can just use her, and then you have Woes live. Now, Rochia, if you control a White Forest, she can special summon herself, and then you can send a spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you draw one. It's nice to have. Like, if you have any spare spell trap in your hand, which you probably do. You can just, send it and then draw one and then get more cards, possibly get a hand trap because you play so many of them. Yeah. If it's in your graveyard, she has the same effect as Sylvie to like return a synchro, and then you special her. Now, keeping up with the White Forest cards, Tails, this is your main search of Sylvie. Like, if you control an illusion or spellcaster, you can add a White Forest from your deck to your hand, and then she has it actually has the effect of the Tails. She has the effect of like the usual. I bugged here for a second. She has the effect of like that all the White Forest spell traps do, where you just, if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set it. Take case in point, this doesn't work for the Bellstar because it's not a monster effect. I discovered that the hard way. So yeah, do not send Tails or Woes for the Bellstar thinking they will set themselves back, because it's not how that works. So yeah, you're pretty much never activating this effect, or like you're activating way after your turn ends. This is just here because it's most generic one you can search, but realistically you never use the effects, you just use it to set itself. Yeah. Now the White Forest cards. What other White Forest cards do we have here? We have Woes, which is you summon a White Forest from your hand or deck. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon a White Forest synchro monster. You don't use this as much as you did use on previous White Forest versions with Toy Box, because you don't play Formula Synchron anymore, which means that you can just summon your Silvera off of your Diabell. So yeah, and that she has the same effect as Tails, the side itself. Now, for the honorary White Forest card, which is AZAMINA 8 or 8 or whatever however you pronounce this shit. Target card on the field up to the number of fusion and synchro monsters in your field and graveyard that are Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcasters, and then return them to the hand. This card is really good. When it resolves, you pretty much win the game. So yeah, and it has the same effect of like you will usually be doing like 4-ish cards. This card is basically the Ukoya Punk Amazing Dragon, but it's a trap card. So yeah, this card is really good. Yeah, main deck. Let's get on to the AZAMINA stuff now. Actually, no, let me talk about the White Forest synchros first. We have Silvera, Richella, and Diabell. They all serve different purposes. Let's start with the most important one, probably, which is Richella. You wanna go into her on your first turn. She can, when it's special, remember special summon, she doesn't need to be synchro summoned for this, so if you like summon her from the graveyard somehow, you can still activate this effect. You can send a spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you add a White Forest card or a light spellcaster monster from the deck to your hand. So yeah, I said it, you can add any White Forest card, any of your monsters, any of your spells or traps, but also you can add Veiler, which is really good if you're in a position where you already have all of your engine. You can just straight up add Veiler and get an extra interruption for free. So yeah, and she also has this passive effect that you don't even remember exists. Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monsters gain 500 attack and they cannot be destroyed by opponent card effects. It's nice protection, but this one doesn't matter. This one specifically doesn't matter a lot, because you never have her on the field, like for more than like 2 plays. So yeah, now Diabell. Diabell is what you generally go with Richella, because if she's synchro summoned using a Junior Synchro, you can straight up target a spell attack in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This can serve for mostly like if you like, I don't know, discard an Imperium somehow, you can just recover it. If you have like Tails in your graveyard that you didn't activate yet, you can just get it back. You can get back your Select for a follow-up turn if you really care about it. So yeah. And then like when your opponent activates a card or effect, this can happen on both turns. You can send a spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then special level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck graveyard or banishment. So yeah, there's a multitude of stuff you could summon with this. You used to summon Formula Synchron, but now you don't have. Now, unfortunately, you don't have the extra deck space for it. Maybe if they ever hit Fiendsmith too hard, you can just take the Fiendsmith stuff off, and then you have more extra deck space. So yeah, but for now, you mostly want to summon Silvera, or you could also like, I guess you could also summon Richella to add Veiler. But yeah, I don't think you'd be very happy to do that, to be honest. You mostly summon Silvera, which, speaking of which, if it's special, you can change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. Yeah, it's just a Book of Eclipse. And then Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monsters gain 500 attack. This effect does matter because you have her on field. If they attack a defense position monster, they inflict double piercing battle damage, which is really good because she will have 3k attack, she will have 2.4k attack, your Diabell stat is big as well, but she doesn't get affected, that's why they even mentioned that. So yeah, this is very good for OTKs. Yeah, AZAMINA cards. And I guess Diabell star. The AZAMINA cards, they're there, I guess. But they're very good. So, starting with Deception. Deception can, tribute any monster from your hand or field and then add an AZAMINA card from the deck to your hand. This effect doesn't matter because it's never on your field. I'm not even gonna bother reading it. And then during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the spell Trap Zone while it was face up specifically, okay, don't expect this to activate. If you fucking sent it face down, it specifically says face up, and then it just sets itself. It's decent to have. It's more gas for your. It sometimes serves as additional gas for your Diabel. You can also, like, if it's on the field, you can just activate it and get Ildia Sylvia for free. So yeah, but the card you're most adding, is Hallowed AZAMINA, because it can, reveal an AZAMINA fusion in your extra deck, and for every 4 levels it has, rounding down. So like if it is level 6. Like these are, for every 4 levels it has, you send a AZAMINA card, or Sinful Spells, I believe, right? Sinful Spells card, yeah. From your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you special summon the revealed monster, treating it as a fusion summon. So yeah, you have 2 AZAMINA fusions, and then if it's in your graveyard, you can get an AZAMINA monster equal, or that's in your graveyard, you can shuffle it, and then add it to your hand. And the first effect is not once per turn, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, it's these 2 fusions you have. They have, very different effects. I'm not even gonna bother reading the second one because it literally doesn't matter. So yeah, Murcielago, monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack or defense. This probably doesn't matter because she's never on the field. If it's fusion summon, you can add an AZAMINA or Sinful Spoils cards from your deck to your hand. You're mostly adding LZ with this. So you're mostly adding LZ off of this. If it's a survival card effect, you can add Sinful Spoils cards from your deck to your hand. This doesn't matter, it literally never happens. I guess you could play like Unchained AZAMINA, but it doesn't matter. Actually, Unchained AZAMINA would be a cool idea. So yeah, and now for the other fusion monster, Ildia Sylvia. She's an unrenegade, she tributes herself to negate a card or effect. And then she has the same effect, but doesn't matter. So yeah, that's it. Now for A-line, I forgot to talk about. The main reason why you play Fainsmith is to go into Beatrice. That can, you can like go Fainsmith stuff, then you end up on Beatrice sequence, and then you like Beatrice and the Stellar, and then you go like sequence and Beatrice into Elf, and then you can summon a Stellar and do a fair full combo. Yeah, that's that line. I think I've explained all. I've covered all. And of course, like tech cards, Apo, really good this format. Moon to go into the Fainsmith stuff. SP because it's SP, come on. And Baron because you can go into it very easily. So yeah, that's the combo. I will be going to solo mode now and doing a few test hands here live, so you can like. The reason I'm doing it live, I'm not even going to, take out the ones that don't go so well. The reason I'm doing that, it's because so you can like, get a bit of a grasp on the consistency of this deck. So yeah, let's go. I will go first, of course. I'm just going to do the, the combo and then quit. I'm going to do a few of them to like try and explain you different scenarios. This hand is, it does stuff, but you're really sad that you're losing your Cold Void Agree. So yeah, I will be comboing. You're like really sad by losing your Cold Void Agree on a normal scenario, but I guess you have to add Sylvie. Normal summon Sylvie effect. Tails. So yeah, in terms of playing through hand traps, you don't like playing into hand traps, of course, but you're also not that sad about it. Like, if you open a good hand, like, you can probably play through like Ash or Imperm, like, or even both. Cards out from your hand. I will be adding, because I've already used all that, I will be adding the other LZ here. The other LZ here, and then Tails will be setting itself. Yeah, Tails here. Tails LZ, Tails set here. You and you. That. You like to use all that first because, and then Diabel because Diabel cannot be ashed. So yeah. And just like that, I recovered my cold by. You can add wanted here. Wanted here. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to add a stellar here. Just so I can get this and then send it. Funny that this is small Diabel star. Deception here. Now Deception can come here. The reason I added the reason I went for the Diabel star there, for Diabel star for a stellar there, it's just honestly just to use the effect, because having a stellar in your graveyard is really good because she's always an extra body that you can very easily get on the field. So there's like no reason not to use her. Let's get Slumber here because it can reset itself. Let's draw a card here. See what we get. Okay, Ash. I'll do something very funny here, which is this. I will go into Silver here. And now, I will be going into Baron. I will be going into Baron here. Which allows me to go hold AZAMINA, recycling Murcielago. Also hold AZAMINA. Showing Illa Sylvia now, and then Illa Sylvia will be doing this. So yeah. And now I can. Boom. That's it. This is your combo. So what is this? This was off of just LZ and any spell or trap card because it did not affect the combos. This was Diabel, which can send a spell or trap that you can, you can just summon your Silvera here. Just summoning your Silvera, which is a Book of Eclipse. This was Baron, Illa Sylvia, one draw, Slumber, Morian, which is basically Book of Moon, and I even recovered the spell trap I used. So yeah, and I have a stellar in my graveyard that can, summon itself to get more bodies. So yeah, straight up, this is like what 1, 2, 3. This doesn't count because this was already dead. Like I draw just a few interactions, and I could even went for more stuff. I just didn't because I wanted to make it quick. So yeah, a good board. This was one card LZ. So yeah, I'm going to do another one just for you. So just for you guys. Let's try and go. Okay, I opened LZ again. Okay, this hand is not very good. This hand is, this hand can do it, but it also cannot do it because, yeah, you feel really sad about not opening a spell or trap card. That's also a reason why I decided to play 2 tracked. Okay, this hand allows me to show up. Oh, gotta leave White Forest with no spells. Yeah, and that sucks. So yeah, but yeah, this hand does do a line I wanted to show you. So yeah, you got tracked. Of course, I already have Lurry in hand, so it's not really very good. But I will be going to do this. Lurry, discard Lurry. I don't love this. I don't exactly love doing this because it feels really bad to like have to summon this guy from your hand, but I guess you have to do it. But this still does your combo with 2 hand traps in your hand, by the way. So you want to do this, do it like this. Lurry returns itself. Lurry returns itself, and then you summon Sequence. You've probably seen a line similar to this if you played against Snake Eye Fiendsmith, which you are very likely to be played into. Honestly, if you didn't play into Snake Eye Fiendsmith, you're probably not playing this game. Lacrima effect will be summoning Engraver back. Yes, we're summoning your Engraver. Now, for the fun part. This could go a lot of ways, of course, but what you're gonna do here is go Beatrice. Going to Beatrice, of course. Then Beatrice effect will take off Engraver first, always, because you don't have a Light Fiend in your graveyard, so you cannot activate Lacrima's effect. So yeah, sending our Stellar. Now you go, because Sequence is a link to, you can go Sequence and Beatrice for Sprite Elf. And now you can activate Lacrima to recycle. Let's recycle Sequence here. Oh, and by the way, with this specific combo, no wait, never mind, we don't. But in some scenarios, you would still have Engraver Graveyard effect. Sprite Elf, Stellar, you can summon it here. If you summon it here, she will be protected by targeting, but I don't think it would matter at this point because they would probably have impermed your Sequence, but it's still good to have. So yeah, a Stellar, you can discard your Apes. This could be any spell trap, by the way. It's good that it's Apes because it's an extra interruption. But yeah, Sylvie here, then it's just your normal combo. But yeah, Stellar is the kind of card that, like, at least I would like the least amount of hand traps. Like, in a format with less hand traps, I would like bump up to more copies of a Stellar. But in the current format, no. So yeah, like, the lesser hand traps that is in the format, the more Stellar you play. Because she's a really good card. So our little combo here. God, I love this deck so much. Don't you guys love this deck too? Because I do. It's like, it became my favorite deck by far, because it really reminds me of Emancipator, if you've ever played that deck. And I really love Emancipator. It kind of reminds me of it a little bit. As for it being a synchro combo deck, but this one actually is, you know... It actually does something, this one. In specific. This is just Engraver, by the way. White Forest is very cool, yeah, I agree that White Forest is very cool too. I love White Forest. Go LZ here. LZ will be summoning our Diabell, because of course you want to send her for a synchro summon. Yeah, Diabell here will get... You can get any of them back, to be honest. So I would be getting Tails back here, because... Well, I want to get Tails back. Just that. Because you may end up activating it. Wanted here. Because Wanted gives you a free tribute for... for your deception. Okay. You can send Tails here, the one you just added. You can just send it because, well, it's free, I guess. Deception. Deception effect. Activate deception. You can tribute your Gibraltar. Of course, one of the beauties of this deck is that, like, the mainline combo is very flexible. There's a lot of lines you can go through. There's a lot of ways you can go with this deck. So yeah, don't stick yourself to the line I'm making here. Play this deck and, like, see the line you like to do the most. Because there's a lot of ways you could go into. There's, like, a lot of them. This song is a banger. Still here, Sylvie. Let's go for Baron. Can, like, allot AZAMINA. You can return your Murcielago. The song got me, like, dancing. Yeah, I think it's really good. Honestly, every time I hear, like, the saddest part, like the sad-ish part, like that, I always get, like, it always brings a tear to my eye because of, you know, Ray. Now, yeah, here, oh, new followed, hello. It always brings a tear to my eye whenever I hear this part. So yeah, here, I'm going to go SP here just because I don't know what else to go here. But you could go for IP here, there's a lot of stuff you could go for here. So yes, Morian. Hello. So you can say hi to YouTube, by the way. So yeah, simple to get this back, and then draw a card, which one engraver, whatever. So yeah, off of just one engraver, this was just one engraver plus one speller trap. I got back the speller trap I sent. I got Diabell, which gets me into Silvera on my opponent's turn. I got Baron. I got SP. I got Elf Protection. I got Ila Sylvia. I have a Book of Moon. I have this, which I could get it on my combo. So yeah, and I also have a lot of follow-up in my graveyard. I have Engraver for follow-up. I have Ila Sylvie that can recycle the Diabell and summon herself. I have a Stella that can summon herself. This can, like, put the LZ back, or a spent Ila Sylvia to get itself back and then send another one. So yeah, there's a fuck ton of interruption here, and this could have been IP, by the way. I just don't play it because there's not many scenarios where it's needed. But yeah, this could have been IP, or, like, I don't know, you could play fucking that, like, Ninja Shadow Mosquito or whatever it's called. There's a lot of ways you can go into, and from, like, just Engraver. So yeah, this was it. This was the combo. As I said on the combo, don't stick yourself. I will respond to that question in a while, Lusper. Don't stick yourself to the line I just did. This deck is very flexible. So yeah, just be creative, I guess. The extra deck is very adaptable as well. You don't need to play this exact ratios. Just, you know, be happy, I guess. But yeah, this was it, YouTube. Well, goodbye. We'll see you next video, and that's it.